Thank you and good evening. It's an honor to speak with you tonight and with the many Missourians watching this broadcast at home. These are tough times, and I know you're here tonight and watching at home because you want to hear honest answers about the future of our state. 12 months ago, Governor Nixon announced that hundreds of millions of dollars of so-called stimulus funds were heading to Missouri. And despite our warnings, he irresponsibly chose to balance his budget with that money. Here we are 1 year later, and due to the governor's failure to act swiftly to address the budget crisis, we now face an even bigger budget shortfall. As for those federal stimulus dollars, the governor has already spent over 80% of that money. You see, we were promised that this money would help put people back to work. But today, our state is facing a nearly 10% unemployment rate, the highest rate in over a quarter of a century. Just days ago, we found out that Missouri lost another 2,600 jobs in December, adding to the thousands of Missourians who've lost their jobs since Governor Nixon took office. Tonight, just like Washington politicians, Governor Nixon called for several new government programs. But each of these programs will cost money that we do not have. Now is not the time for ideas to grow the size of government. Our most important goal should be putting people back to work, period. While Governor Nixon made a promise tonight to not raise taxes, just weeks ago, his tax commission voted to raise taxes on Missouri farmers by almost 29%. This is a devastating blow to our agricultural producers after one of the worst farm income years since 1945. In the coming days, Missouri Republicans will move to stop this tax hike from Governor Nixon. Tonight, Republicans in Missouri will make you this promise: we will not raise your taxes. Instead, we will tighten our belts and find ways to stretch every dollar, like countless Missouri families do every day. Last year, the governor refused to consult with us, borrowed money from the state's rainy day fund, shuffled money in closed-door meetings, and cooked the books with Wall Street-style accounting. There has been no transparency in the budget process. The governor has kept Missourians in the dark. And when lawmakers passed a bill to make the governor's budget accessible to you online, the governor vetoed that bill. I believe all of us deserve to know how our tax dollars are being spent. You expect your government to live within its means. That is a promise you have from your Republican leaders. It's a pledge the governor has refused to live up to. Many of you had to wait until late summer to receive your income tax refunds. Last year, Governor Nixon mismanaged Missouri's budget and literally ran our state into a deficit. Then, after depleting the state's checking account, he used your income tax refunds to fill those budget holes. They claimed it was because of delays in processing, but we later found out we were once again being misled. Your tax returns were not delayed because of processing issues, but rather due to Governor Nixon's huge budget shortfalls. Now, I, for one, do not believe it is acceptable for the governor to sit on the money you are lawfully owed just so he can pay bills. Republicans know that is your money. So, in the coming days, Republican lawmakers in the House and Senate will file a joint resolution telling Governor Nixon that we expect him to return your money to you on time. Because how we handle taxpayer money in difficult times says a lot about our values. Over the past year, Governor Nixon has slashed funding for education. He has reduced money from your local school's transportation budget. And he has cut funding for scholarships for Missouri students. But he has not made the same sacrifices he is demanding from others. I don't believe that you can effectively propose to overhaul government transform budgets and reform ethics when you aren't willing to take those steps on your own. Here are the facts. The governor has the largest and highest paid personal staff of any Missouri governor in our history. I was shocked to learn that while we offered to cut our office budget, the governor actually asked for more funding. That, to me and to thousands of unemployed Missourians, is simply unacceptable. You see, on Governor Nixon's watch, nearly 62,000 Missourians have seen their jobs disappear. That's nearly 170 Missourians losing jobs each day. Last year, when the unemployment rate was much lower, the governor made the mistake of relying on a federal bailout. He dismissed concerns about skyrocketing debt and actually said, and I quote, "If there's debt, Missouri kids and grandkids will pay that debt off," unquote. A truly shocking statement. Our burden should not be passed on to future generations. Instead, we must help Missouri's small businesses create new innovative jobs. That is the only way our state will remain competitive in an ever-growing and changing global market. Right now, leaders in St. Louis are moving forward with the Global Trade Initiative and the Midwest China Hub Commission. These projects are critical to ignite job creation. And yet to this day, Governor Nixon is dragging his feet on this project. I am hopeful that in the coming months he will finally join us in supporting this significant opportunity. A bright economic future depends on how successful we are at preparing Missouri students for the jobs of tomorrow. That means providing guaranteed funding for our K-12 classrooms and ensuring that our state colleges provide the most innovative learning environments imaginable. Tonight, the governor also talked about reforming the ethics of the political culture in Jefferson City. Republicans support a true ethical review of the Missouri State House, but we must start from the top down. In the past year, lawmakers have credibly charged the governor's staff with offering them jobs in exchange for their votes. The governor has rewarded top donors with the state's most lucrative fee offices and withheld vital health and safety information from the public. Right now, a Senate committee is reviewing the actions of Governor Nixon's Department of Natural Resources. It's a sad day when journalists have to ask the governor who knew what and when. Most importantly tonight, I want you to know that Republicans are standing with you. We understand times are tough, and that means we will oppose anything that threatens to cost you more money.